Vince McMahon and Chris Chan are two different yet also similar figures. They both have their fair share of controversies and dramas. But before we get into the similarities and differences, let's ask ourselves, who are Vince McMahon and Chris Chan? Let's start with McMahon. Vince, as we all know, is the former boss of WWE, or WWF before the last letter was replaced. If you want to go back even further, it was originally the WWF. In the 1970s, he was a ringside announcer and commentator. In '82, he bought the company from his old man along with Linda. By the way, he bought the company, not Linda herself. He and Linda both bought it. This is the man who made WrestleMania. The man who made Hulk Hogan popular. In the 90s, he took the name Mr. McMahon. Back then, he went into a feud with wrestler Stone Cold Steve Austin. McMahon even wrestled himself, winning the WWF title and ECW title. In 2001, Vince McMahon made the XFL, which only lasted one season. In 2002, it evolved into WWE, leading the company through immense growth. In 2023, however, WWE and UFC merged to create what is known as TKO Group Holdings. McMahon was originally supposed to be the chairman of TKO, but stepped down in 2024 following a lawsuit involving sexual assault and sex trafficking allegations. Now, who is Chris Chan? Chris Chan is an American internet personality and cartoonist born Christopher Weston Chandler on February 24th, 1982, in Charlottesville, Virginia. She is known as the creator of Sonichu, a mixture of Sonic and Pikachu. She's been a prominent figure on the internet since 2007. However, Bob happened and, yeah, you can only guess what happened from there. But the case was dismissed in 2023 and she was released from jail. Somehow. Now, with introductions out of the way, how are they similar? Well, let's start with them being public personas. McMahon played the role of a tyrannical, power-hungry boss, and his real-life business dealings and controversies often blurred the lines with that character. Chris Chan's life is one that is documented to hell and back, his story being told by several on the internet. Both have had legal issues as well. Vince for the great steroid scandal of '94 and SA trafficking and hush money payments a tad more recently. Chris Chan for, well, you know what she did, Bob. Both have been a massive topic of media coverage, documentaries, and online discussion, often in great detail. So those are the similarities, but what are the differences? Well, let's get the obvious out of the way first. Vince is buff, Chris is fat. Vince is rich, Chris isn't. Vince is neurotypical, Chris Chan is neurodivergent. Vince is cis, Chris Chan is trans. Vince scored, Chris Chan was still looking for a boyfriend-free gal when Vince was still relevant. Now for the less obvious. The most significant being Vince was a media Mongol who built a multi-billion-dollar empire. A multi-billion-dollar empire. That being the WWE. Chris Chan, on the other hand, is an internet personality known for Sonichu, as well as her extremely documented online life. As for controversy, McMahon's are rooted in his position of power and wealth, involving allegations of exploiting employees. Chris Chan's, however, are tied to her personal family life, as well as her interactions with trolls and her publicly documented existence. As for public perception, McMahon was a controversial but transformative figure in sports entertainment, seen by many as a genius who revolutionized the industry. With a complicated legacy due to his controversies, Chris Chan's public legacy is tied to the concept of internet fame and the ethical debates surrounding the documentation and online harassment of a mentally ill individual. In short, McMahon's story is one of a powerful figure whose alleged abuses were enabled by his position, while Chris Chan's is a cautionary tale about the intersection of mental illness, online culture, and public voyeurism. Both respective tales are tales of madness and corruption. Let me give you some advice. If you plan on being a CEO of a company or a YouTuber, never be Vince McMahon or Chris Chan. With that being said, this is Rose signing off. Peace.